What's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. We're going into week 6 of the NFL. Today I'm going to be doing my early NFL awards predictions. Hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to make it a bit more interesting and save my MVP for last. So I'm going to go with offensive player right now. And as of right now, I'm going to be going with Nick Chubb for offensive player of the year. He's playing like he's the best running back in the league. Right now he's leading the league with 593 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. Big part of that Browns offense, probably the biggest part of that Browns offense, main reason why they're close in games. Going back to that week 2 game against the Jets, ran for 87 yards and 3 touchdowns. Last week also had multiple pair of touchdowns with 2 against the Chargers, also 134 rushing yards. Of course, I've been paying attention to him a lot because, well, he's on my fantasy team. He's been carrying my fantasy team, even though my fantasy team is not really that good, but he's that big part of that, getting like close to 20 points a game in fantasy. Now, obviously, they don't pick who's the offensive player of the year based off fantasy, but he's productive is what I'm saying. He's racking in a few receptions, only has 6 receptions right now. Looking at the yards too, only 37 receiving yards. Obviously, he's not known as a receiving running back. That's really Kareem Hunt's job. But on the ground, he's playing like he's the best right now. I don't like to also give offensive player of the year to the quarterback. I should have stated that earlier. I don't like to give offensive player of the years to the quarterbacks. I think that should be separate. I know NFL does that differently. I do wish they separate it. You know, quarterbacks, as a person of the MVP, basically should not win an offensive player of the year award or defensive player of the year award. That's what I believe. So, like I said, I saved my MVP for last. It is, of course, different from Nick Chubb, but offensive player of the year right now, I'm going with Nick Chubb. It's hard to point out defensive player of the year right now, but I'm going to go with Micah Parsons. He's leading the league with 6 sacks, has 19 combined tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 12 quarterback hits, 1 forced fumble. Compared to other people around the league, it is close. A lot of close races right now with defensive player of the year. Of course, TJ Watt being out definitely hurts. But I'm going to go with Micah Parsons right now. He's a big part of that Cowboys defense. Cowboys are playing really good lately. They only have 1 loss, and that was, of course, the first week against the Buccaneers. But him, Parsons, and Cooper Rush, I mean, I really feel like they're getting that team going. But yeah, Parsons, of course, was a big part of the defense last year. Number 2 in defensive player of the year as a rookie. Okay, number 2 as a rookie last year. Of course, won defensive rookie of the year, but you know, going to be the same category again this year. Could even win it now with, of course, TJ Watt being sidelined for a while. But give me Micah Parsons for defensive player of the year. So for offensive rookie of the year right now, it's between Olave and Dameon Pierce right now. Usually the top 2 rookies. However, I'm going to go with Dameon Pierce. Main reason why is because he's doing more with less. Looking at his stats, 412 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns with 13 receptions and 57 receiving yards. But like I said, he's doing more with less because the Texans are a bad team, one of the worst teams in the league, but he's still standing out. He's, of course, a big part of the offense, probably their best offensive player, probably the best player as a rookie. So I'm going to go with Dameon Pierce for offensive rookie of the year. Of course, anything can change. Obviously, that's the whole thing with these whole predictions. Give me Dameon Pierce as of now. It's definitely a close race, a very close race. Of course, we have Olave. We have even Breece Hall, who's, of course, standing out on the Jets, had a big game against the Dolphins last week. But as of right now, give me Dameon Pierce. Not too many defensive rookies standing out right now, but as of right now, I'm going to go with Sauce Gardner. He has 1 interception, 6 pass deflections, 20 combined tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit, and only allowed 1 touchdown allowed. So it's close. It's close. Not too many standouts. That's not disrespecting any defensive rookies. Just, of course, a little too early compared to other positions. But, of course, big part of that Jets defense. That's definitely what the Jets needed going into this season. Big part, a big coverage corner. He's doing exactly that. So, Sauce Gardner for defensive rookie of the year. Comeback player of the year. Another close one. It's definitely close. I have Saquon Barkley as comeback player of the year. You could argue Christian McCaffrey as well. You could argue Derrick Henry. It's hard to determine really between those guys who's comeback player of the year, because Saquon Barkley last year only played 13 games, which still is a fair amount. He did, of course, deal with a bunch of injuries, but looking at his stats from last year, 593 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. He's already playing 5 games and he already has 533 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he's already close. He already has more rushing touchdowns than he did last year with only 5 games played. So, I mean, he literally played 8 more games last year, and he has more touchdowns this year. So that's what I'm going to go comeback player of the year. I really don't know how they judge it, if it's really only based off injury, or is it most like a most improved player like the NBA does it. I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley, but McCaffrey, of course, he's starting to heat up. Same thing with Derrick Henry. I'm going to be curious how McCaffrey's going to be now with the Panthers firing their head coach. See how the offense is going to be a bit more spread out. That's what the Panthers have to do, a bit more spread out. They have a lot of talent. out wide receivers. And of course, Christian McCaffrey was one of the best running backs in the league when he was healthy. He's starting to play like that again. He's getting hot. Derrick Henry's getting hot. But as right now, Saquon Barkley, I'm going to go with him. Main reason why is because the Giants are cruising right now. They just beat the Packers. They're sitting at 4-1. They're a better team. Saquon Barkley's been carrying that offense. So, Saquon Barkley for comeback player of the year. For coach of the year, give me Brian Daboll. Main reason why, Giants, nobody thought they were going to be coming in to the season with this record. Nobody thought they would start the season off 4-1. Went to London, defeated the Green Bay Packers, a very tough team. They're rolling. Thing with the Giants to note too is they have a lot of injuries. Their receivers are dealing with a lot of injuries. Their defense has a couple injuries. Like I said, the Giants have a lot of starters that are banged up. They go to London and they beat the Packers. They did have a pretty easy schedule starting the season. Okay, facing the Titans, which was a big win. Titans was a pretty difficult game to beat. Then the Panthers, Cowboys, and Bears. So the Panthers and Bears are pretty easy, but the Cowboys, Titans, and Packers, solid teams that they played. They did lose to the Cowboys, but beating the Titans and Packers, two solid wins. But the main point, like I'm getting to, is nobody thought the Giants would be where they're at right now. First year head coach. Nobody thought that they'd be in this situation. I certainly didn't. They're playing the Ravens this week. Who knows? But from the last 5 weeks, give me Brian Daboll. Of course, Sirianni's close too, but I give the edge to Daboll because one, nobody thought they'd have the record that they have, and two, he's a first-year head coach, and three, the injuries that they're dealing with. Of course, turning around Saquon Barkley, making him better, making him to his full potential again. And Daniel Jones is actually playing pretty solid too. Could that be a big reason of, Brian Daboll's influence? Who knows? But for coach of the year, give me Brian Daboll. Now finally, the NFL MVP going into week 6 is Josh Allen. I know it's close between him and Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson, but give me the Bills. I think the Bills are the best team in the league. I know the Eagles aren't undefeated, but the Bills, I think, are the best team in the league. And I think Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. Looking at his stats right now, leading the league in passing yards with 1,600. He has 14 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. On the ground, I think he's leading the Bills in rushing. Taking a look at that right now in their Bills rushing stats, I think, he is leading the Bills in rushing right now, which is crazy. So looking at his rushing right now, he's at 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's MVP right now. Lamar Jackson, of course, is playing very good. Didn't play too good against the Bengals, but Josh Allen has been having solid games like every single week. They're playing the Chiefs this week. This is, of course, going to determine that. Is he that MVP level? I think he will. I mean, he played really good against them in the playoffs. I think he's going to play very good against them as well. We saw them against the Steelers. He threw for like 400-some yards and 4 touchdowns. Just absolutely went off. Yeah, looking at 424 yards, 4 touchdowns, had an interception, but 42 yards rushing as well. He's playing insane right now. His arm strength is crazy. I was watching that. Him and Stephon Diggs are one of the best duos in the league. So give me Josh Allen for MVP. Of course, all this stuff could change. This is no set in stone. But as of right now, week 5 going into week 6, these are my award winners. So let me know what you guys think. I'd be happy to debate, happy to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel. Help me get to 7,000 subscribers. I'm out. Peace.